Hello and welcome to another Moog demo library. In this video we're going to combine Subharmonicon and Spectravox together, and in particular use the 10 filter bands of Spectravox and the ability to modulate all of them to bring a simple sequence into uncharted waters. To start, we're going to connect the audio paths of Subharmonicon and Spectravox. Let's use Subharmonicon's VCO1 as our audio source. So we'll patch the VCO1 output of Subharmonicon to the carrier input of Spectravox. Ensuring that Spectravox's mode is set to filter bank, this will send Subharmonicon's VCO1 to all of Spectravox's 10 filters. Sequencer 1 of Subharmonicon is controlling VCO1 through the Sequencer 1 assignment button. And to get a sequencer with more than 4 steps, I'm going to combine Sequencer 2 and 1 together by patching Sequencer 2's output to the VCO1 input. Now let's press play on Subharmonicon and turn the volume of Spectravox up to hear our sequence. By switching VCA mode from on to EG, we engage Spectravox's internal VCA, which will be driven by Spectravox's decay-only envelope. Let's patch the Sequencer 1 clock output of Subharmonicon to Spectravox's trigger input to trigger this envelope. What happens if we try to use Spectravox to mimic a traditional subtractive synthesis arrangement? If we turn down all of Spectravox's filters save for filter 1, we'll only hear the low-pass filter of filter 1. Spectral shift moves the frequencies of all 10 filters, so if we're only listening to the low-pass filter, it will function as a typical cutoff knob. Let's set spectral shifts all the way down and use one of Subharmonicon's envelopes to open it up like you would do with typical filter envelope modulation. Let's patch the VCF EG of Subharmonicon out to the shift input of Spectravox. Now, Subharmonicon's VCF envelope will control the joint frequencies of all 10 filters. This is nice and it sounds really good, but it's a little bit traditional. Let's get weird with it. Subharmonicon not only has 2 audio oscillators, but each has 2 sub-oscillators, whose subharmonic division can be controlled. Let's use these to modulate the levels of the other 10 filters in Spectravox. We'll start by patching VCO2's sub-oscillator 2 output to control the level of filter 10 of Spectravox. Now let's just hear what happens when we raise the level of filter 10. We get some really interesting modulation patterns. The frequency of VCO2 isn't locked to anything, not our clock or not the frequency of VCO1. And so we get these off-kilter modulation patterns. They kind of sound like some weird filtered delay or something. Really, we're just creating interference patterns between our main sequence and the frequency of VCO2 and its sub-oscillators. Let's play around a bit with the resonance of Spectravox, the frequency division of sub-oscillator 2, and the parameters of the Subharmonicon VCF envelope, which is moving the frequencies of Spectravox's filters. The 2 envelopes of Subharmonicon can give us really interesting movement because they don't clamp back to 0 when they receive a next trigger from Subharmonicon sequencer. Let's use the other Subharmonicon envelope, the VCA envelope, to control one of the other Spectravox filters. Let's patch Subharmonicon's VCA envelope generator output to control filter 5. And while we're at it, let's patch the 3 remaining sub-oscillators of Subharmonicon to 3 of the other filters of Spectravox just to see what happens. where Subharmonicon excels at creating interesting interrelated patterns. These patterns can really come to life with Spectravox's ability to modulate, manipulate, and mangle the frequency spectrum of a sound.